जय। लाडली लाल की जय। श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। श्री गुरवे नमः।
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 आचार्यं मां वेजानीयं नावमन्येत कर्हिचित् नमर्त्यबुद्ध्या सुवेद सर्वदेव मयो गुरु। हे परम प्रियतम,
हे परम प्रियतम,
पूर्णतम पुरुषोत्तम श्री कृष्ण,
पूर्णतम पुरुषोत्तम श्री कृष्ण,
तुमसे विमुख होने के कारण,
तुमसे विमुख होने के कारण
अनादिकाल से हमने,
अनादिकाल से हमने
अनंतानंत दुख पाए,
अनंतानंत दुख पाए
एवं पा रहे हैं,
एवं पा रहे हैं।
पाप करते करते,
पाप करते करते
अंतःकरण
अंतःकरण
इतना मलिन हो चुका है,
इतना मलिन हो चुका है
कि रसिकों द्वारा,
कि रसिकों द्वारा
यह जानने पर भी,
यह जानने पर भी
कि तुम अपनी भुजाओं को पसारे,
कि तुम अपनी भुजाओं को पसारे,
अपनी वात्सल्यमय दृष्टि से,
अपनी वात्सल्यमयी दृष्टि से
हमारी प्रतीक्षा कर रहे हो,
हमारी प्रतीक्षा कर रहे हो।
तुम्हारी शरण में नहीं आ पाता,
तुम्हारी शरण में नहीं आ पाता।
हे अशरण शरण,
हे अशरण शरण,
तुम्हारी कृपा के बिना,
तुम्हारी कृपा के बिना
तुम्हें कोई जान भी तो नहीं सकता,
तुम्हें कोई जान भी तो नहीं सकता।
ऐसी स्थिति में,
ऐसी स्थिति में
हे अकारण करुण,
हे अकारण करुण,
पतित पावन श्री कृष्ण,
पतित पावन श्री कृष्ण,
तुम अपनी अहेतु की कृपा से ही,
तुम अपनी अहेतु की कृपा से ही
हमको अपना लो,
हमको अपना लो।
हे करुणा सागर,
हे करुणा सागर,
हम भुक्ति मुक्ति आदि,
हम भुक्ति मुक्ति आदि
कुछ नहीं मांगते,
कुछ नहीं मांगते।
हमें तो केवल,
हमें तो केवल
तुम्हारे निष्काम प्रेम की ही,
तुम्हारे निष्काम प्रेम की ही
एकमात्र चाह है,
एकमात्र चाह है।
हे नाथ,
हे नाथ,
अपने विरध की ओर देखकर,
अपने विरध की ओर देखकर
इस अधम को निराश ना करो,
इस अधम को निराश ना करो।
हे जीवन धन,
हे जीवन धन,
अब बहुत हो चुका,
अब बहुत हो चुका।
अब तो तुम्हारे प्रेम के बिना,
अब तो तुम्हारे प्रेम के बिना
यह जीवन मृत्यु से भी अधिक भयानक है।
मृत्यु से भी अधिक भयानक है।
अतएव
प्रेम
भिक्षां देहि,
प्रेम भिक्षां देहि,
प्रेम भिक्षां देहि,
प्रेम भिक्षां देहि,
प्रेम भिक्षां देहि,
प्रेम भिक्षां देहि।
बोले साकेत बिहारी श्री राघवेंद्र सरकार की जय। वृंदावन बिहारी श्री यादवेंद्र सरकार की जय। श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री Radhe. Everyone who signed up for Aarti, please come forward. आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी की। आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी की। रोहन सिर कनक मुकुट झलके, श्रुति कुंडल बल हलके। नोहन दिग प्रेम सुधा छलके, रसीले बैन रसीले नैन, रसीले सैन दोन में
आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नटवारी की। एक सिर मोर मुकुट राजे, एक सिर चूनरी छवि साजे, दोहन सिर तिरछे बल प्राजे, संग ब्रज बाल लाडली लाल, पागल लाल कृपालु दोहन दिग चारी, बनवारी नटवारी की। आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नटवारी की। आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नटवारी की। जयति जगद्गुरु गुरुवर की, गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। गाओ गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। गुरुपद नखमणि चंद्रिका प्रकाश, जाके उर बसता के मोह तमनाश, जाके मात नाथ तव हाथ करवास, ताते होय माया मोह सब निराश। पावे गति मति रति राधा वर की, गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। गाओ गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। हरे मन मूल छान नारी नरहार, गुरु बिनु ब्रह्म श्याम होना देखे सार। कोमल कृपाल बड़े कृपा सिंधुनाथ, पाके इन्हें आज तू अनाथ हो सनाथ। इन्हीं के अधीन कृपा तेरी धर की, गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। गाओ गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। भक्ति योग रस अवतार अभिराम, करे निगमागम समन्वय ललाम। श्याम श्याम नाम रूप लीला गुण धाम, बाट रहे प्रेम निष्काम बिनु राम। होररी सफल काया नारी नर की, गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। गाओ गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। लीला लीला का सलोना सुविलास, छाया दिव्य दृष्टि बिच प्रेम का प्रकाश। बसाही विनोद वही मंच मृदुहास, करे बस बर बस उच्च अफलहास। जय हो जुम चले चाल वही नटवर की, गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। गाओ गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। जयति जगद्गुरु गुरुवर की, गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। गाओ गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। यस्य साक्षात् भगवती
सरस्वती ज्ञानदीप प्रदे गुरौ मर्त्यासति श्रुतं तस्य सर्वं गुञ्जलशोचवत् एष वै भगवान् साक्षात् प्रधान पुरुषेश्वर योगेश्वरैर्विज्ञानैर्लोकोऽयं मन्यते नरम् यमुना निकटतटस्थित वृन्दावन कानने महारम्ये कल्पद्रुमतलभूमौ चरणं चरणो परिस्थाप्य तिष्ठन्तं घननीलं स्वतेजसा भासयन्तमिह विश्वं पीताम्बरपरिधानं चन्दनकर्पूरलिप्त सर्वाङ्गम् कर्णपूर्णनेत्रं कुण्डलयुगमण्डित श्रवणं मन्दस्मितमुखकमलं सकौस्तुभोदार मणिहारं वलयाङ्गुलीयकाद्या नुज्ज्वलयन्तं स्वलङ्कारान् गलविलुलितवनमालं स्वतेजसा पास्त्रकलिकालं गुञ्जारवालिकलितं गुञ्जापुञ्जान्विते शिरसि पुञ्जानं सह गोपैः कुञ्जान्तर्वर्धिनं नमत मन्दारपुष्पवासित मन्दानिलसेवित परानन्दं मन्दाकिनी युतपदं नमत महानन्ददं महापुरुषं सुरभिकृतदिग्वलयं सुरभिशतैरावृतः परितः सुरभितीक्ष्णपरमः सुरभिमं यादवं नमत धनी गुरुवर धाम निवास सुनो मन पुण्यन पुंज सोपाये जो बनी दीन प्रपन्न रहो गुरु के नित सेवा सदाहि रिझाये जो मन ते हरि को गुरु को सुमिरो रसना सो सदा गुण गाए जो क्षणभंगुर जीवन जानी मना क्षण भुंजनी व्यर्थ गवाए जो सब धावन वारो वृंदावन पे और वृंदावन हो गुरु धाम पे वारो जो गुरु के पद प्रीति जुरी तो भजो चली आवे गो ब्रह्म विचारो है हरि निर्मल भक्त तन को गुरु है अधमों को उदाहरण हारो और को गुरु हो या न हो गुरु मेरो कृपालु सुभाग हमारो और को गुरु हो या न हो गुरु मेरो कृपालु सुभाग हमारो। श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। श्रीमद् युगल सरकार की जय। रासेश्वरी राधा रानी की जय। भक्ति धाम की जय। छोटी सी लाली की जय। श्री राधा माधव धाम की जय। जय जय श्री राधे। जय जय श्री राधे। जय जय श्री राधे।
Radhe Radhe, everyone. So tomorrow is Radha Ashtmi. If you're not aware, we're starting at 4:30 a.m. tomorrow. 5 a.m. is Aarti. 5:15 is Kirtan. And then 6:30, we're going to have another Aarti and Kirtan. So if you want to sign up for Radha Rani's 5 a.m. Aarti, please come to the front desk. Just a reminder, for all those who want to sign up for Aarti, please come to the front desk for the 5 a.m. Aarti. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. On behalf of Radha Madhav Dham, I welcome all of you for this Radha Ashtmi intensive. And on behalf of all of you, I welcome Sushri Braj Banchary Ji. Those who joined today, for the sake of them, let me give a brief intro of Banchary Didi. Sushri Braj Banchary Didi is one of the foremost disciples of Jagadguru Shri Kripalu Maharaj. Her father was very closely associated of Maharaj Ji, Shri Kripalu Maharaj. Shri Maharaj Ji lived in her house in Pratapgarh, India for about 15 years, thereby giving her the unique fortune of growing up in close association of Shri Maharaj Ji. Thus, she learned her first lesson of spirituality in her childhood when Shri Maharaj Ji had not even started spreading the true knowledge to the world. Didi Ji holds 2 master's degrees in Sanskrit and in music, and she became a sannyasi preacher in the year 1972 at a very young age. I request all of you to please listen to her discourse very attentively and kindly switch off your phone or put them in silence mode. Now, as a token of our respect for Didi Ji, I request Gayatri to offer her a garland.
प्रथमं सद्गुरुं वन्दे श्रीकृष्णं तदनन्तरं गुरुः पापात्मनां त्राता श्रीकृष्णस्त्वमलात्मनाम् यस्या कदापि वसनाञ्चलखेलनोत्थ धन्यातिधन्यपवने न कृतार्थमानि योगीन्द्रदुर्गमगतिर्मधुसूदनोऽपि तस्या नमोऽस्तु वृषभानुभुवो दिशेऽपि राधा करावचितपल्लववल्लरी के राधा पदांक विलसन मधुरस्थली के राधा यशो मुखरमत्त खगावली के राधा विहार विपिने रमता मनो में
नमः कमलनाभाय नमः कमलमालिने नमः कमलपादाय नमस्ते कमलेक्षण यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदाश्च प्रणोति तस्मै तद्वंह देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। Bumblebee of the lotus feet of Shri Radha Rani. We will chant now for a couple of minutes, and after that, I will speak on the subject of today. भोरी भोरी मोरी किशोरी राधे भोरी भोरी मोरी किशोरी राधे भोरी भोरी मोरी किशोरी भोरी भोरी मोरी किशोरी राधे भोरी भोरी मोरी किशोरी भोरी मोरी किशोरी राधे भोरी भोरी मोरी किशोरी राधे किशोरी राधे किशोरी राधे किशोरी राधे भोरी राधे किशोरी राधे भोरी भोरी मोरी किशोरी राधे भोरी भोरी किशोरी राधे ओ भोरी भोरी ओ भोरी भोरी ओ भोरी भोरी मोरी किशोरी राधे 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 चित चोरी किशोरी राधे चित चोरी किशोरी राधे चित चोरी किशोरी राधे चित चोरी किशोरी राधे वयस की थोरी 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 किशोरी राधे किशोरी राधे किशोरी राधे किशोरी राधे किशोरी राधे वयस की थोरी किशोरी राधे वयस की थोरी किशोरी राधे भोरी भोरी राधे ओ भोरी भोरी राधे ओ भोरी भोरी मोरी किशोरी राधे 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 रस बोरी किशोरी राधे रस बोरी किशोरी राधे राधे रस बोरी किशोरी राधे रस बोरी किशोरी राधे राधे रस बोरी जैसी गोरी किशोरी राधे,
जैसी गोरी किशोरी राधे,
चंपा जैसी गोरी किशोरी राधे,
जैसी गोरी किशोरी राधे,
किशोरी राधे,
किशोरी राधे,
चंपा जैसी गोरी किशोरी राधे,
चंपा जैसी गोरी किशोरी राधे,
ओ चंपा जैसी गोरी किशोरी राधे,
चंपा जैसी गोरी किशोरी राधे,
किशोरी राधे,
किशोरी राधे,
किशोरी राधे,
किशोरी राधे,
भोरी भोरी, ओ भोरी भोरी, ओ भोरी 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 किशोरी राधे,
गोरी 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 किशोरी राधे,
हे भोरी भोरी मोरी किशोरी राधे।
गोरी 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 किशोरी
बोलिए राशेश्वरी श्री राधा रानी की जय, श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। Yesterday, we were talking about the introduction of Shri Radha Rani. Although it is impossible for anyone, including Lord Krishna himself, to give the full introduction of Shri Radha. But all the saints, the great Rasik saints, they gave introduction of Shri Radha. Shri Maharaj Ji also gave lots of introduction of Shri Radha Rani. But I also heard, whatever I heard from Shri Maharaj Ji about the introduction of Shri Radha, because it is understood the best introduction of Shri Radha Rani could be given by Shri Maharaj Ji. As you know that he is Bhakti Yoga Rasavatar. This title is not given by the devotees of Maharaj Ji. It's not given by the pracharaks of Shri Maharaj Ji, the followers of Shri Maharaj Ji. This title is given by the scholars of Kashi Vidvat Parishad. There was the association of great scholars. 500 scholars were enrolled in them. And in fact, they invited Maharaj Ji just to defeat him in Shastrat. That's a long story. Why did they do that? I'm not going to tell that. But they had not a good feeling for Maharaj Ji when they invited Shri Maharaj Ji. They thought, he is only 32 years old boy and we are the great scholars. And each scholar was specialization in one scripture or on one subject only. And all of them were more than 60, 65 years. So they were very sure that although he is very knowledgeable, he is very genius, but his knowledge cannot be equivalent to the combined knowledge of 500 greatest scholars of India. That's why they invited Shri Maharaj Ji. But after listening to only 3-4 lectures, they could recognize Shri Maharaj Ji. Because they were the scholars. They could know that what Shri Maharaj Ji is speaking. What knowledge has he gained? Because they were making research on one topic or one scripture, and they could not attain sufficient knowledge in 50, 60 years. Then they could think that how can a 32 years old person have the thorough knowledge of all the scriptures? Because there was a condition that when you will speak, any scholar, there were 500 scholars, and it was said that any scholar can ask you any question on any scripture. And if you fail to give answer of any one question of any scholar, then you will be considered as defeated. You will not get the title of Jagadguru. But within 3-4 days, they realized that he has thorough knowledge of all the scriptures because he reconciled. They cannot memorize only one scripture. And Shri Maharaj Ji was quoting all the scriptures. Not only that, he was reconciling the philosophies of all the scriptures and Jagadgurus, etc. And they saw the symptoms of divine ecstasy in Shri Maharaj Ji. That's why they gave this title, Bhakti Yoga Rasavatar. As I explained yesterday, Bhakti is the essence of Prem. Essence of Chit Shakti is Ananda Shakti, essence of Ananda Shakti is Hladini Shakti, essence of Hladini Shakti is Prem, and essence of Prem as well is Bhakti. And Bhakti Yoga means Sri Krishna. Then Bhakti Yoga Ras, the nectar of Bhakti Yoga, who is Sri Radha. So they admitted that Shri Maharaj Ji is the avatar of Prem. When Sri Krishna, when Prem himself is introducing Prem, then it could be complete introduction. Anyone else cannot introduce him, Radha Rani, in that sufficient manner as Shri Maharaj Ji could. So whatever I am saying, whatever I said yesterday and what I am going to say today is not my knowledge which I earned. I never studied any scripture. The knowledge, whatever I am sharing with you, is given by Shri Maharaj Ji to me. And a part of that knowledge, which I can remember, which I can assimilate, is shared here for all of you. So yesterday I gave the introduction according to the scriptures, according to Shri Maharaj Ji, the physical introduction, and after that, the real introduction of Shri Radha Rani. And I also explained that it shows that Shri Radha Rani is the embodiment of love. But it is not sufficient to say that Shri Radha Rani is the embodiment of Prem, love. Why? Because there are 8 levels of love. And each level of love, because all the powers of God are divine and personified. That's why each level of love is personified. And the last, the highest one is Mahabhav, which is attained by the gopis of Samartharati, who have no other desire except the happiness of Priya Priyatam, Shri Radha Krishna. They never thought about self-happiness. There are many meanings of Nishkamta, but the Nishkamta of gopis were very unique, very peculiar, because they never desired for self-happiness. All the devotees, serve Shri Krishna, serve Shri Radha for their own happiness. Whatever make them happy, they want to do that. But the gopis never thought about self-happiness. They always thought about happiness of Radha Krishna only. That's why these gopis are called Shri Radha Rani's Kaya Vyuha Sarupa. Kaya means body. So because they were always concerned about the wish, about the desire, about the interest of Shri Radha Krishna, they were not thinking about anything at all. That's why they were called the mind of Shri Radha Rani. The gopis, we can say the gopis are the body of the mind of Shri Radha Rani. What Shri Radha Rani is wishing right now, what she wants them to do right now, you just see what the gopis are doing. Whatever the gopis are doing, that is the desire, that is the interest of Shri Radha and Shri Krishna. So their love was so high class that even Brahma, Shankar, etc., Shukadik, Janakadik, they all wished to have it, but they could not. Brahma observed austerity for 60,000 years, not to attain the position of the gopis, just to attain the food dust of the gopis. Shashti varsha sahasrani maya taptam tapapura nanda gopa brajastrinam padarenu palabdhaye. Padarenu palabdhaye. So Brahma Ji, you observed austerity for 60,000 years to obtain the food dust of the gopis. So did you get it? No. Tathapi namaya prapta stasam vai padrenava. Even then I could not attain it. That's why he asked for a boon. Tadastu me natha sabhuri bhago bhavetravanyat tratuvatirascham yena hame kopi bhavajjananam bhutva nisheve tava pada pallavam. I wish to have a body of a tree or the creeper, or you can give me the life of any bird, etc. in Braj, so that I can get food dust of the gopis. And what to say of Brahma, Shankar, etc. Even Mahalakshmi Ji, she also did austerity for thousands of years. Yadvan chaya shrir lalana charattapo vihaya kaman suchiram dhritabrata. She could not attain the place of the gopis. The Mahabhav Prem, which is the highest thing, is attained by the gopis. But this Mahabhav is also of two kinds. Sarudhascha dhiruraschetyuchyate dvidho budhai. Rud and adhirud. So love of the gopis was rud adhibhav. Rud adhirud, rud bhav. Rud mahabhav. And there is one more class of Mahabhav which is higher than Ruda Mahabhav, is Adhiruda Mahabhav, where even these gopis cannot reach. Imagine the height of Adhiruda Mahabhav, where these gopis also cannot reach. It is reserved only for Shri Radha Rani and Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna can attain it. But the real seat is of Shri Radha. So the Swarup, Lakshana of Shri Radha Rani, The real personality of Shri Radha Rani starts from this point on. This is the reality. So what is this Adhirudha Mahabhav? It is not. It is comprehensible. Once Parvati ji asked Shankar ji, and she said, you always admire the love of Radha very highly. Tell me something about the love of Shri Radha Rani. What is that? Shankar ji said, love of Shri Radha cannot be described. It's so deep, it's so abstruse, so esoteric, that no one can describe the love of Shri Radha Rani. Then Parvati ji said, tell me something, whatever you can say about the love of Shri Radha Rani, the Adhirudha Bhav of Shri Radha Rani. So I will also have an idea of Adhirudha Mahabhav. Then he described, Lokatit majand koti gamavap traikalikam yat sukham dukkham cheti prithak yadis phutagame te gacchata kutatam naiva bhasatulam tadavi tatkutadvayam radhika premodyat sukh dukkhayor bhava mayor vindet vindorapi. He is explaining lokatit majand koti gamava pyatraikalikam yat sukham. You have to collect the entire sukh of all the loks, lokatit. Two kinds of planets are there, material and divine. Like Vaikuntha is a divine planet, Shivlok, Durga Lok, Saket Lok, they are the divine planets. So you have to collect all the sukh, the happiness of all the divine and material lok. Traikalikam. Not only the present sukh of all these planets. No, Traikalikam. The sukh of past, present and future. Combine them. And not only that, Dukkham cheti prithak yadis phutgame. You have to collect dukh also of all the planets of past, present, future, and then combine all the sukh and dukh of all the planets of all the three times. Then what will happen? Naiva bhasatulam. Even then, Shive, O Parvati, naiva bhasatulam tadapi tat kutadvayam radhika premodyat sukha dukkha sindhu bhavayor vindet vindorapi. He is saying, even then, the sum of all the sukh and dukh of all the planets of all the times will not be even equivalent to one atom of Shri Radha's love. The sukh and dukh of Shri Radha. In Radha Bhav, there are some, I will let you know, I'm going to describe it. There are some stages where she attains only bliss, divine bliss. And there are some stages of love in which she attains only vira, Viraha and Milan. Meeting Shyam Sundar and separation, Sukh and Dukh. Everything is unlimited, ineffable, incomprehensible. Everything is like that. It is not equivalent to Sukh or Dukh of Shri Radha of present time only. This is Adhirudha Mahabhav. How can we understand it? Yes, we are hearing, I am telling. But nobody can understand the depth of this love. We can have a little bit of idea. This Adhirudha Bhav also splits in two bhav. Modanash, Madanaschaiva. Modan and Madan. There are two bhav of Adhirudha Bhav. Modan Mahabhav and Madan Mahabhav. What is Modan Mahabhav? In Modan Mahabhav, all the time, all kinds of sentiments of love, the waves of the sentiments of love of all kind keep on upsurging unlimitedly. There is no trace of dukkha. All the time they enjoy unlimited bliss of all kind of colorful waves of love continuously. And in this bhav, Modan Mahabhav, Shri Radha and Krishna, they both have the symptoms of ecstasy up to Uddipta Mahabhav. I think you know. There are some symptoms of divine love which are called Sattvic Bhav. There are 8. Stambhasvedotha romanchaha sarvedotha vepatu vaivarnamashrupraya ityashtav sattvika smritaha. There's 8 Sattvic Bhav. So and there are 4 levels of them. Dhumait, Jwalit, Deept, Uddeept. Although there is one more level, Sudeept, but it is reserved only for Shri Radha Rani. Jeev can attain up to Uddeepta Mahabhav. In Rudha Mahabhav, the gopis also go up to Uddeepta Mahabhav, but not up to the end, the last stage of Uddeepta Mahabhav. But Shri Radha Krishna in Modan Mahabhav, they attain the maximum. They go to the end of the Uddeepta Mahabhav. And both of them have this kind of symptoms in their body. Sometimes both of them have the same symptoms simultaneously. But most of the time, Shri Radha or Shri Krishna, both of them have the symptoms of ecstasy up to Uddeepta Mahabhav. Shri Maharaj Ji has written a pad in Prem Ras Madira. It's a beautiful pad of Leela. Sham Sakhi Ati Sughar Naveli Bhanu Lali Churiya Pahiravati. Once Sri Krishna went to please Shri Radha Rani. She was annoyed. And he went to please Shri Radha Rani in disguise of a bangle seller. Now when she's selling, Shri Krishna has become a lady, and now he is selling bangles. So if she will put on the bangles in the hands of Shri Radha Rani, he has to touch the hands of Shri Radha. Without touching the hand, how can she put the bangles in the hand? So as soon as he touched the hand of Shri Radha Rani, what happens? Pulak swed tanu थर थर कांपत हंसी हंसी प्यारी सोबत रावत. Because the symptoms of love were revealing in the body. So he was trying to laugh, to have some jokes, etc. with Shri Radha Rani so that nobody can catch, nobody can notice that the symptoms of love are increasing in my body. But how long could he hide it? तो उमग्यो परत प्रेम रस अम्बुधि बिनु चुरिया चुरियान पिन्हावति. Now, when the love of Sri Krishna was brimming up excessively, he could not control, but he was trying to pretend. Then he did not take any bangle. He was just doing like that. And the gopis were saying, what is she doing? What kind of bangle seller is she? She is not having the churi in the hand and she is just sliding like this, because he was looking towards Shri Radha Rani only. He had no inkling of his physical presence as well, because all the symptoms, pulak, swed, everything, stam, swed, romanch, vepathu, because his body was shaking also, so vepathu was also revealing in the body. So Shri Krishna, it happened many times. You can see in Prem Ras Madira, when Lord Krishna could not control his love, and all the symptoms of love were revealed in the body. And in the same way, sometimes in the body of Shri Radha Rani also, all the symptoms of love are revealing. And Maharaj Ji is described in many pads. I like one pad. It is the pad of Virah Madhuri. Radha is remembering Shri Krishna, and all the symptoms of love are revealing in the body of Shri Krishna and Shri Radha Rani. Then a Sakhi came to Shri Radha Rani, and she is asking, Ari toye kaha bhayo. Shri Radha Rani kehti, kachu nahi. She's seeing the symptoms of love in the body, and she said, what happened to you? Nothing. Nothing. How do you say nothing? Kaha bisurati Baithi maun gahi. I am seeing you, I never saw you sitting like this. Now you are sitting alone. You are thinking about something. You are very quiet. It seems like your mind is somewhere else. So what is going on? She says that wo Uddhav ji aaye the na. So he taught us about Brahma. He said, Aham Brahmasmi. So I am thinking about that form of Brahm in myself. Brahma Roop Nij Mahi Ari Toye Kaha Bhayo Kachu Nahi. Then the gopi says, don't try to befool me. I am seeing that your body is shaking also. There is kamp in your body. To katatanu kamp dari sakhi sochati. Your body is shaking. So it looks like you are scared. And you are thinking. Shri Radha Rani says, yes, I am thinking about something. What are you thinking? Why your body is shaking? Oh, I am thinking about the sufferings of Narak. That's why I am scared. Because I was taught that if you will not worship God, then you will go to Narak. And I was thinking about the sufferings of Narak. That's why my body was shaking. But you are shedding tears also. What is that? Shri Radha Rani says, she asked, Kataro Vati. Shri Radha Rani says, Nahiro Vati. Why are you crying. Shri Radha Rani says, then I'm not crying. Then why? The tears are flowing from your eyes. He said, these are the tears of happiness. I'm very happy to think about God. That's why my eyes are shedding tears. But sometimes you get murchit, unconscious. To cut the murchit, how did you become unconscious? So she says that because I was thinking about Brahma, that's why I went in samadhi. I was not unconscious. I went in samadhi. Like Shri Maharaj Ji always used to say, when people in satsang, they sleep, then I ask them, are you sleeping? No, Maharaj Ji, I was doing Rup Dhyan. I was in samadhi. So in the same way, Shri Radha Rani is also saying that no, I was not getting unconscious. Rather, I was in samadhi. Then Gopi says that don't try to befool me, I know, because I also have the same experience. So this is the symptom of Modan Mahabhav, because they have all the symptoms of ecstasy, Sattvic Bhav. This is Modan Mahabhav. The same Modan Mahabhav transforms into Mohan in separation. Radha Rani's separation is also not something ordinary. The separation, the feelings of separation of Shri Radha Rani is also incomprehensible. It's very hard to understand. प्रविश्लेष दशायाम मोदनो मोहनो भवेद. विरह की अवस्था में यही मोदन भाव मोहन में बदल जाता है. विरह की अवस्था आ जाती है. तो ये मोहन महाभाव में जो विरह की अवस्था है, ये किस प्रकार की होती है, क्या होता है इसमें, इसके विषय में श्री महाराज जी ने बताया है कि मोहन महाभाव, देयर आर 5 symptoms of Mohan Mahabhav. What are those symptoms? Number 1, Kanta Shlishtepi Murchana. Kanta Shlishtepi Murchana. Shri Krishna is embraced with Rukmani Ji. Rukmani Ji, इसकी आवाज ठीक करो. Rukmani Ji is the main queen of Shri Krishna. And in Dwarika, there was a temple which is called Ratna Mandir. It is specially made for Rukmani Ji and Shri Krishna. So he was with Rukmani Ji in Ratna Mandir. The Bhagavad says, Ratna Chhaya Churita Jaladhau Mandire Dwarikayam Rukminya Pipravala Pulkod Bhedamalingitasya. In that temple, Shri Krishna is there. And he embraced Rukmini Ji very hard. He was enjoying. And the symptoms, pulak, swed, etc., the horripilation, sweating, etc., were seen in the body of Sri Krishna when he was embracing Rukmani Ji. All of a sudden, he saw the waves, the beautiful waves of ocean. And when he saw the waves, the beautiful waves of ocean, then immediately remembered his pastimes with Shri Radha Rani besides Yamuna river. He was with Rukmini Ji. He was lovingly sitting with Lakshmi Ji, and all of a sudden he just saw the waves of the ocean and he became in ecstasy. This slok says, Vishwam payan masrina yamuna tirvanir kunje Radha keli bhar parimal bharat dhyana murcha bhavit. Dhyana murcha murare. He just remembered about Shri Radha Rani and he became unconscious. This is the love. This is Mohan Avastha, one symptom of Mohan Avastha. Even he is with Rukmani Ji or any other queen, but when he remembers Shri Radha Rani, he immediately comes in ecstasy. Once, Pranvasi was telling about the love of the gopis and the love of Shri Radha to all the queens, because they said that I want to know why Lord Krishna loves so much. He loves the gopis, he loves Shri Radharani so much, although they are ahir. We are from royal families and we are so beautiful. But even if he is sitting with us, even if he is putting his head in our lap, even then if just somebody takes the name of Shri Radha, he becomes in ecstasy. What is that? And when she started talking about the love of Shri Radha, and Shri Krishna was not there. He was at the door of the palace and he became in ecstasy. And his body started becoming very, very thin, invisible. He became in ecstasy in that way. So this is the first symptom of Mohan Mahabhav. Kanta Shrishtipi Murchana. And number 2, there is one more symptom, that is Asahya Dukha Swikarat Tat Sukh Kamata. When Shri Radha Rani is experiencing unbearable pangs of separation, even then, it is in her mind that I should not say anything, I should not do anything which makes Shyama Sundar unhappy. When Uddhav Ji came to Shri Radha, then other gopis were saying that tell Sri Krishna that although we are so miserable, we are having so much pain of separation, but still, if he likes to live over there, if he wants to stay over there, he should not come over here. But when Shri Radharani heard, she said to Uddhav, Udho jani kahiyo kachukan. Uddhav, please don't say anything about us, about our condition to Sri Krishna. Why? Because Uddhav Ji was thinking that Shri Radha would say, tell him about our pitiable condition. Tell him to come immediately, otherwise we will die. She will say like that. But Shri Radha Rani is saying, Ve ati saral hridaya dukh pai hai. Suni mama pranan pran udho jani kahiyo kachukan. If his heart is very soft, if he will hear about our condition, then he will also be miserable. No, if he will become miserable, then our suffering, our misery will multiply immediately. It will be hard for us to survive if he will be dukhi, if he will be unhappy. We cannot see that. Shri Radha is saying, Jo tum dasha lakhat आँखियाँ से सो सके नहीं जान. जो तुमने देखा है अपनी आँखों से, whatever you have seen yourself, do not tell that also to him. But he will ask me for sure. When I will go back, they will ask about us. If he jo hat kari पूछे कह दी जो है प्रसन्न बनितान, then say that, oh, the gopis are very happy. But he will not be satisfied with that. He knows that gopis cannot be that happy. If he insists, if he asks me again, what did they say? Did they give any kind of message? What did they say about me? So Shri Radha Rani says, Jo hat kari पूछे कह दीजो. जो हठ करी पूछे कह दीजो. कही है प्रसन्न बनितान. If he insists, tell me, कुछ कहा नहीं, didn't send any message, say just है प्रसन्न बनितान, and नहीं, they didn't give any other message. Then Uddhav Ji was very much perplexed. He said, how is it possible? When I will go back, I have to say something because he will ask me again and again about the Brajavasis, about the gopis. Then what would I say? Shri Radha Rani says, Uddhav, you are a jnani. You know what you have to say. The Soi Kripalu kahiyo tum jaso. ऐसी बात बना के कहना. You have to manipulate. You have to say something in a way that ona mukh raha muskan. There should not be any change in the smile of Shyam Sundar. You should not ever smile. And this is your responsibility. You have to say something as our message that there should not be any difference in the muskan of Shyam Sundar. He should always smile. This is the second symptom of Mohanakya Mahabhav. And there is one, the third one is Tirascham api rodanam. The pangs of separation of Shri Radha Rani are so intense that Tirascham api rodanam. When Shri Radha Rani is having the pains of separation, not only the human beings, Tirascham means even the birds, the animals, they are affected. They also feel the pain of separation. When Uddhav Ji went back to Sri Krishna and he described, he said, what is the position of Vrindavan, Braj? Then he said, Shina Gokula Mandali Pashukal Kulam Shashpayana Spandate Muka Kokil Sanghate Shikhikulam Navyakulam Nityati. Shina Gokula Mandali. All the Gwal Bal, the Gokul Mandali, they have become very weak. They don't eat properly. They are not looking after themselves. Shirna Gokula Mandali. Pashukulam Shashpaya Naspandate. And the animals are not eating their food. Muka Kokil Sanghati. The cuckoo birds forgot about singing. And Shikhikulam Navyakulam Nityati. And the peacocks forgot dancing. They are not dancing without you. As if they never danced in their life. So Sarve Tad Viharena Hanta. Because of your separation. Sarve tad virahena hanta nitaram govinda dainyam gataha. Everyone is very, very miserable in your absence because of your separation. Kintveka yamuna kuranga naina netram bubhir vardhate. Only Jamuna Ji, the water of Jamuna Ji is increasing every day. When everyone is so distressed, they are so much dukhi, then how come the water of Jamuna Ji is increasing day by day? Netram bubhir vardhate. Because the gopis, Shri Radha Rani, are crying all the time. So the water of Yamuna river is increasing due to the tears of Shri Radha Rani. Tirashcham apirodanam. This is Tirashcham apirodanam. In the same way, Shri Maharaj Ji has also written very nicely. He describes the same thing. He's saying to Uddhav Ji, Piya binu pyari gai borai. She is also very much distressed, and she says, Pandurag janu bhayahu tumahi bin janu jada jangama piyarana. Uddhav, Shyam Sundar ke bina Pandurang janu bhayahu, the whole Vrindavan has become yellow. The greenery has gone from Vrindavan. Pandurag janu bhayahu tumahi bin. And Jada Jangama Piran, all the mobile and immobile creatures, they all have become yellow. Bacharan piya tana dudha surabhithana. And the calves, they are not drinking the milk from the udders of their mothers because of the virah of Shyam Sundar. And the cows, they are not eating their food. Trina charati gayana lata gulma औषधि सब सूखे यमुना जल हो सुखान. Everything has gone like that, that all the trees and the lata, the creepers, they all have become dried. And there is no water in Yamuna river as well. So this is the characteristic of Mohan Mahabhav. There is one more characteristic of Mohan Mahabhav. Mrityu Svikaradapi. Shri Radha Rani accepted that now I cannot survive anymore. I have to die. It is impossible for me to bear the pangs of separation now anymore. But even then, after her death also, she wants to serve Sri Krishna for the happiness of Sri Krishna. How? She says that I want a vardhan, a boon from Brahma. I can touch his feet, I will bow down to him, and I will humbly ask him for one boon. What is that boon? Panchatvam tanuretu bhut nivaha swanshe vishantu sputam dhataram pranipatyahanta shirasa tatrapi yache varam tadvapi shupayastadiya mukure jyotistadiyang anabhyom nibyom nitadiya vartmanidhara tattala vrinte nalaha. After my death, I have 5 gross elements. There are 5 gross elements. This body is made of 5 gross elements. So she says that I want to serve you after my death also. I want to serve you with my 5 gross elements. Tad vapi shupaya. The jal tattva, the water, jal tattva of my body must mix in that pond where you go to play, with the gopis for water play. I want my water tattva, pani, jal tattva, to mix up in that vapi, in that sarovar, the pond. Tad vapi shupayas tadiya mukure jyote teja tattva. In that mirror in which you see your face and enjoy your beauty. My Tej Tattva should mingle with that mirror. Jyotis tadiyangana. And my Tej Tattva should go, it should mix the Prithvi Tattva with that part of the earth where you go to chant, you play. Tadvapi shupayastadi mukere jyotistadeng adhyati yagana vyomni vyomtadi vartmanidhara. And my Akash Tattva should mingle with that place where you enjoy. My air, the element of air should mix with that fan by which the gopis serve you. So after death also, Shri Radha Rani is wishing to serve Sri Krishna for his happiness. This is Mohan Mahabhav. This Mohan Mahabhav, the apex of Mohan Mahabhav is called Divyonamad. This is not the end of the Viraya of Shri Radha Rani. This is the beginning of Shri Radha Rani's Viraya. The apex of Virah Bhav is called Divyonamad. Because in the state of Divyonamad, the actions of Shri Radha Rani seems like the action of an insane. She does anything. Nobody can understand that why she is doing it, what is she doing. That is called Divyonamad. And that Divyonamad is of 2 kinds. Udghuna and Chitrajalp, etc. 10. There are 10 kinds of Chitrajalp. So Udghurna, when she goes to the state of Udghurna Mahabhav, then what happens? Nobody is there, Sri Krishna is not there, but she acts like he is there. And he behaves like she doesn't know what she is doing. She behaves like a crazy. Uddhav Ji is informing this condition of Sri Radharani to Sri Krishna. And he says, you know what is happening with Sri Radharani? Shayyam kunj grihe kvachit vitanute savas sajjayita nilabhram dhit khandita vyavrahatish chandi kvachit tarjayati. Her behavior is very weird. Shayyam kunj grahe. Sometimes she decorates a beautiful grove with the flowers and everything. As vas sajjaita. There are many states of the Naika, the chief women of any episode. Shri Radharani is the chief deity. So she is called Naika. So vas sajjaita. When the Naika makes preparations, decorates the room and everything for beloved, then she is termed as vas sajjaita. And when she is annoyed, she shows her man, then the Naika is called Khandita. When she dresses up nicely, he decorates herself and he decorates other things also for beloved. Then, and goes to meet Shyam Sundar. Then she is called Abhisarika. So Uddhav Ji is saying, is sometimes she decorates the kunj. She makes a beautiful bed. Shayyam kunjugrahe with. Shayya means bed. Sometimes she makes beautiful bed of flowers and leaves and everything. It decorates the kunjugraha beautifully, as if you are coming now. So Shayyam kunjugrahe kvachit vidanate savasa sajjaita nilabhram deta khandita. And sometimes she looks at the blue clouds and she becomes mad. She scolds them. Why? Because she sees Sri Krishna in that blue cloud. Why have you come? I don't want you. Get out from here. Tarayati. In that way, she scolds the blue clouds. She doesn't like, because she is Manini right now. And sometimes she becomes Abhisarika. And she dresses up herself very nicely. Very happy. She sings, she dances, and then she goes to meet you. So Radha te viroho pramathiti dhatte na kam dasham. Hey Sri Krishna, in your remembrance, because your separation, what kind of situation is not seen in Sri Radharani? She looks like crazy. She behaves like a crazy all the time. Although she is always afraid of going in anywhere in dark. But, for small things, she becomes afraid because her heart is very soft. But in the night time, when it is too dark, and the forest, it is forest, nobody is over there. In the night time, she runs. Dhante kvachit darune. She runs in the forest to see you. She thinks that you are coming. So this is the beautiful condition of Shri Radha Rani. So this is called Udghurna. There are many other forms, of viraha. There are 10 more conditions. But if I will describe all of 10, then I will have to speak up to 10 o'clock. So I'm going to sum up over here that this is the Mohan. I just gave you the idea of Mohan Mahabhav. And beyond that, now the real form of Shri Radha is revealed. All these symptoms are called Tatastha Lakshan of Shri Radha Rani, which is essential in some personality, but it is not the Swarup Lakshan, it is not the Swarup of Shri Radha, but it is essential in Shri Radha. Essentially, it remains in Shri Radha. Now, superior than Modan Mahabhav as well. Modan, I told you that in Modan and Mohan, they are the other form of Modan is Mohan. So superior than Modan and Mohan is Madan Mahabhav. Sarvbhavodgamollasi Madano yam parat parah Rajate ladini saro Shri Radha yameva yasada. This seat is reserved only for Shri Radha. Nobody can, even Sri Krishna, cannot reach the state of Madanakya Mahabhav. That is the highest one. What is Madanakya Mahabhav? All the Rasik saints, they said we cannot describe. We cannot have any idea of Madanakya Mahabhav because Sri Krishna himself cannot reach this state of Mahabhav. But there are two main qualities which are so weird, you cannot believe. That is very special quality in Madanakya Mahabhav. What is that? Sometimes in the state of separation, in the state of viraha, Shri Radha Rani have the symptoms of milan. When she is suffering with separation, then how can she feel the symptoms of milan? We cannot understand it. That's why it is called anirvachaniya, incomprehensible, ineffable. What is that? How can someone feel the symptoms of milan in viraha? Shri Maharaj Ji explained it in one of his pad. Sahaj sane hi shyam hamaro. This is the pad of Viraha Madhuri. Shri Radha is feeling the pangs of separation very badly. So what happens in separation? The devotee remembers God all the time. All the time. The beloved saturates in each and every part of the being of the devotee. She feels nothing at all except Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Ha Priyatam, Ha Shyam Sundar, He Shyam. Nothing else comes in the mind. Shri Krishna, the beloved, वो तन्मय तल्लीन हो जाते हैं. They saturate in the being of the lover. So she is thinking, Shri Krishna, in Virah, she is thinking, Shri Krishna loves me so much. See, he loves me so much. She cannot leave even for a fraction of a second. All the time, he is with me because she is feeling The presence of Sri Krishna being all the time. That's why she says, he is always with me. He does not leave me even for a fraction of a second. Lalita Tribhang Anang Vimohan Sumirati Atho Yam Hamaro. The beautiful glimpse of beloved in Tribhangi Lal, when he stands bending his body from three places, he is called Tribhangi Lal. So that chavi, Lalit Tribhang chavi of beloved is always in my mind. He is always there, and I'm enjoying that chavi of Shyam Sundar. And what happens when somebody is feeling the separation? Then what happens? Cries. All the time, shedding tears. So here Shri Radha Rani is saying, Drega asuvana so poyaharanit. If somebody comes to you, please, you will give some respect to him. You will praise him. So Shri Radha is saying that all the time, because he is sitting over here, that's why all the time I am offering him a necklace. Necklace of what? The pearls, the diamonds, the flowers, or what? No, no, no. I offer the necklace which he likes the most. What is that necklace? The necklace of my tears. Drega suvana so poyaharanit. When she is shedding tears, they are coming and making har. And Shyam Sundar is sitting right over here. That's why she says that I am offering the har of my tears all the time to him. Shravana sunat neta priyatam charcha. Nothing is coming in her mind all the time. She is listening, but the name Shyam, Shyam, Shyam. Nothing comes in the mind. She says, I am not hearing anything else. Because Shyam Sundar is fully saturated in her being. How can she hear anything else? So she said, I am hearing the name of my beloved only. Shyam, Shyam, Shyam. Nothing. I cannot hear anything else. So Shravana sunat nita priyatam charcha madhur madhunam hamaro rasna sonishi vasar chin chin gavati hari gun gram. All the time, what a Virahini will do. All the time he remembers his beloved, ha Priyatam, ha Shyam Sundara, ha Shyam, ha Manmohan, all the time. Continuously, she's prevailing like that. That's why she says that I am pronouncing the name of my Shyam Sundar only. He loves me so much. So, she says that now, because all that I'm listening her names, I am singing her names, he is sitting in my heart, I am all the time offering, and the heart, I am seeing him all the time. He is so nice, he is giving me so much happiness. I have already explained it too, that the bliss of separation is much more greater than the bliss of meeting Shyam Sundar. It could be experienced only. Nobody can tell about this kind of bliss. That's why Mahaprabhu Chaitanya also said, if I am given an option that you want separation or you want meeting with Shyam Sundar, Sangama Viraha Vikalpe Varamihi Viraho Na Sangamas Tasmat. If I am given an option, Sangam or Viraha, meeting Shyam Sundar or separation, then I will ask for separation. Viraho na sangamas tasmat. Na sangam. I don't want meeting with Shyam Sundar. Why? Because in Viraha, in Sangam, when we meet Shyam Sundar, we can see Shyam Sundar at one place only. Sange sahiya tathaikas tribhuvanam api tanmayam virahe. When we feel meeting with Shyam Sundar, then he is seen only one place. Where is he? Oh, I am hearing the sound of Murli. Oh, probably it is coming from Vanshibad. Let us go to Vanshibad. The gopis go over there. The Leeladhari Shyam Sundar, he disappeared from there. Now he is playing his flute from Yamunaji. Oh, let's go to Yamunaji. Let's go to Madhvi Kunj. Oh, probably Shyam Sundar is there. But in Viray, you don't have to go anywhere. He is sitting in your heart. He is giving the pleasure of his presence all the time, 24 hours. You don't have to wait. The gopis used to wait that when the night will be over, in the morning, then she will make an excuse. I am going to sell the yogurt, I am going to sell the butter, I am going to fetch water from Yamunaji to see Shyam Sundar. Now they don't have to make any excuse because Shyam Sundar himself is sitting in the heart and giving so much pleasure. All the time he is sitting here. He is giving so much pleasure to me. So, हम कृपालु न केवे मेरे कहा जगत सो काम हमारो. The gopi is saying, so now I don't have to go anywhere. Kaha jagat so kam. Hum kripalu unke ve mere. I am sitting here, he is sitting in my heart. Where do I have to go? I don't have to do anything. So this is the example of the feeling of Milan in Vira. Now, listen to the feeling of Viraha in Milan. It means Shri Radha is sitting here. Shri Krishna is sitting here. And they are putting their arms around each other. They are sitting very close to each other. And all of a sudden, Shri Radha Rani and Shri Krishna both, they feel separation. Sitting together. And Shri Krishna is bewailing, Ha Shyam Sundar. Shri Krishna is crying. He has become unconscious again and again. He is crying for who? Shyam Sundar is crying for who? Shyam Sundar is crying for Shyam Sundar. It's so peculiar. How can we believe that it may also happen? पिय पूछत प्यारी ते कित गए प्रियतम नंद कुमार लख्यो एक अचरज कुंज माझार. He is asking Shri Radha Rani, have you seen my Priyatam? Where has he gone? Who is your Priyatam? My Priyatam is Nand Kumar. And प्यारी पूछती पियते कित गई. Shri Radha Rani is also asking Shri Krishna. She is bewailing. She is getting unconscious. All the time. She is crying. Ha pyari ju, he bhanu dular. So she is asking Shyam Sundar. प्यारी पूछती पियते कित गई भूरी भानु दुलार. She is asking for Radha Rani. Radha Rani is asking for Radha Rani. Radha Rani is bearing the pangs of separation of Shri Radha Rani. Shri Krishna is having the pangs of separation of Shri Krishna. Sakhi samujhavat har gai pe. The gopis who are seeing, standing behind the lata, it is the Leela of Nivritana Kunj. So the gopis could not enter there, but they were seeing from the behind, standing behind the creepers, and think what is happening. Then they had to enter over there, and they're saying that, hey Pyariju, you are Pyariju. who you are searching. Hey Lalju, you are Nagarnanda Kumar. But they don't understand. They don't want to understand. They are enjoying the pangs of separation. That this is the special thing, very special thing in Madan Mahabhav. There are many other qualities and characteristics of Madanakya Mahabhav as well. But it's not possible to describe everything in one day. So we'll discuss about it someday else. Boliye Srimad Satguru Sarkar ki jai. Rasheswari Shri Radha Rani ki jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe.